It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. It's Wednesday evening, May the 31st. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and FDAX tonight. Crude is bullish ahead of tomorrow's inventory report. And we have a bull flag in the chart tonight telling us to look for a two-legged pullback for the next round of buying opportunities tomorrow. The S&P is bullish and trying to retest today's high. And there's a channel on the chart which tells us to wait for rotation to buy more on Thursday. Gold is bullish and trying to retest today's high. But a previous trading range combined with a key level of resistance are giving us plenty of clues for Thursday's session. The euro is bullish with a spike in range this evening, which tells us to look for traps and failures down in the battle zone tomorrow. And the FDAX, boy, it loves those ranges right now. The DAX is range bound with a triangle tonight. So the plan is to use the 2-try rule to buy the lows and sell the highs using failures tomorrow. We are ready to wrap up what has been an incredible month of May. We get a brand new month of June coming right around the corner here, starting off on Thursday's session. I appreciate you guys sticking around a little bit late with me tonight as I get back in the saddle here this evening with our nightly newsletter. I realize I'm running a little bit behind schedule here tonight, so thanks for sticking around. I got a great video in store for you guys and gals tonight. Before we jump into the video, though, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this newsletter is on our blog here at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry. There's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Dig into the description of that YouTube video, find that link, and come over here in the blog at Sideways Markets and watch the full-length version and all 5 markets. Now, while you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when our nightly newsletter goes live. Follow me on social, lower left-hand corner. Plenty of different ways to follow me on social media. I just posted all of the inventory levels for tomorrow on my social media channels. Make sure you follow in the lower left-hand corner. And grab those charts. Don't forget, how easy is that? All the charts from tonight's video, have them ready for your computer tomorrow. Remember, it says click here to download today's charts. Follow that link to download today's charts for tomorrow's session. And of course, please don't forget to grab your free pass in the upper right-hand corner of this website. Grab that free pass. You'll learn more with me in 90 minutes on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that, especially if you're brand new to trading. Down just below, don't forget the frequently asked questions, and I'm always here to answer all your questions, right? If you have any questions on the way, hit me up on the live support tool on the right-hand side of the website. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Boy, back in the saddle here tonight. Again, I'm running a little bit late here, so great to be back here. Let's get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, June the 1st. Brand new month. Now, whenever we talk about a brand new month, we always know towards the end of the month, right, we expect to see increased volatility. At the end of the month, into the new month, right, traders are jockeying their positions around, rebalancing portfolios, right? They're comparing prior month levels and they're making important decisions. So we do start to see more volatility as we go into the end of the month and, of course, the first few days of a new month. So be aware of that, right? We definitely saw some great volatility across all markets today, and we're looking forward to some more tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday the 1st, is going to be a very busy day tomorrow because if you recall, Monday, the 29th of May was the holiday, right? It was Memorial Day here in the U.S. So although markets were open, it was a very, very low volume environment when all the news gets pushed right later on in the week. Anytime Monday is a holiday, you're going to have the inventory report, which is normally on Wednesdays for crude oil. That's tomorrow. You're going to see, of course, the ADP employment report tomorrow morning. So a lot of news has been crammed into tomorrow's session. So keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes and ears open, and above everything else, just follow the plan, right? We don't really need to do anything different tomorrow. Just follow the plan. Make sure we trade around the news, right? Don't gamble with the news, and be careful around those economic news numbers. Now, we do have some minor news coming out from the retail sales number from down under. If you're planning on trading the overnight Asian session, that may move in a little bit. The retail sales number from Australia, probably not going to make too much of an impact, right? But please be aware it's on the calendar here for tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow, going into Thursday, June 1st, I can't believe we're already talking about the month of June right now. We have kind of a peppering of news in Europe, 1:45 and 2 a.m. We'll hear from the GDP, right, and the home price indexes, right, tomorrow. 3:55 and 4 a.m. We'll hear from Germany, the ECB, and the Italians. And then we go into the U.S. session. Of course, the U.S. session tomorrow is pretty busy, right? Of course, we have your typical Thursday. So tomorrow morning, typical Thursday, which means we have jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. That'll be kind of the big news of the first hour of trading in the U.S. session. Remember, we do have the ADP employment report. On Friday, we're going to hear from the non-farm payroll number. That ADP employment report on Thursday morning is usually on Wednesday mornings, but again, because Monday was a holiday, it gets pushed back. Now, remember, that ADP employment number doesn't usually move the market very much, but it will be used on Friday, right, for Friday's non-farm payrolls. We'll talk more about that in tomorrow night's newsletter. So really the market moving events tomorrow in the U.S. session will be that 8:30 jobless claims. We get some minor news at 9:45, right? I think the big news tomorrow, though, is going to be the manufacturing index at 10 a.m. and the petroleum status report at 11 a.m. So watch for that. Watch for a big splash tomorrow around 10 a.m. Eastern time, especially with the new month opening up. And of course, don't forget, if you're trading crude oil with us tomorrow in the trade room, right, we definitely want to make sure to be aware that petroleum status report is at 11 o'clock. It's usually, right, the inventory number is usually on Wednesday mornings at 10:30. I personally kind of like it like this. I'd rather have it every Thursday at 11 a.m. The 10:30 Wednesday number, Wednesday 10:30 number kind of gets in the way, right? It does. It kind of cuts our morning short a little bit on Wednesday mornings. So anybody has any pull out there with the DOE, right? Make sure you voice my opinion out there too. Let's keep them on this Thursdays at 11 o'clock. Something tells me they probably won't take my word for it. But nonetheless, though, tomorrow we have inventories at 11 a.m. Don't forget the 15-minute heads up, right? So 10:45 tomorrow will be the short-term timeout ahead of that inventory report that comes out. And then make sure you give it at least 5 minutes after the news comes out. Sometimes it takes 10 or 15 minutes before that news really calms down. Also, one more thing to keep in mind on this too as well is that I've also used tonight's API levels to project the inventory levels for tomorrow, right? Inventory levels for Thursday. I'm probably going to do that a lot tonight, right? Inventory levels for Thursday are posted on the blog. If you scroll down on the blog at Sideways Markets, scroll down below this video tonight. There's a link that says click here to download more, right? Or click here to read more. Follow that link and you'll go right to the inventory numbers for tomorrow. So you'll see I'm going to talk more about those in a moment. If you scroll below tonight's video, the link that says click here to read more, follow that link and you'll see those inventory levels are there for you guys to copy and paste and use for your own trading tomorrow. I also put out all the inventory levels on my social media channels, right, about an hour ago as well. So if you follow me on Twitter or StockTwits or Facebook or LinkedIn, whatever other Snapchat or Face Chat or whatever the heck they're doing these days, right, I'll be following those too as well. So bottom line is the inventory levels are on the blog. Just scroll down where it says click here to read more. You can see those and have them ready for tomorrow. All right, guys? So a lot of news tomorrow, getting in early, right, in London, and of course all the way to 11 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Right, and of course, we'll be in our trade room tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you guys there. We'll talk more about the non-farm payroll number, which of course is Friday. Right, we'll talk more about that in tomorrow night's newsletter. Let's jump right in. We've got crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and of course, we can't forget about the old FDAX tonight. Starting off with crude oil, and again, on the crude chart tonight, I'm going to give you guys those inventory levels for tomorrow. Right, we'll use those as short-term support and resistance. You can write them down off this chart tonight, or you can, of course, just scroll down below the video at sidewaysmarkets.com and make sure you grab them below the video tonight as well. They're there for you. All right, crude is bullish and trying to make up for lost ground ahead of tomorrow's inventory report. The recent bull flag is a big clue, telling us to look for a measured move target and then wait for a two-legged pullback off the high for the next round of buying opportunities tomorrow. The only variable for tomorrow is the inventory report at 11 a.m. Eastern time, which reminds us that price often does a sharp trend reversal around that report. So we'll definitely keep our eyes and ears open as the bulls try to make a possible run back to that big round number all the way up there at $50 a barrel. Boy, it really escalated quickly here over the past few days to the downside. As you can see here today, right, the bears 4 legs down again. We went 4 legs down yesterday and pretty much, right, 4 and some change, right, down today. So a very, very strong bearish market. We were talking about this in the trade room this morning. Do not be surprised, right, as I mentioned earlier this morning in the trade room, right, do not be surprised as we finish up the month if we end up going back up to those prior month levels. We've been talking about that ever since last week. At the end of the week, we start using prior week levels. At the end of the month, we start using prior month levels. So no surprise to see what was really a short covering rally, right, that then led into a bull flag, which of course now has completely taken control of this market. And that pretty much leads us into the plan for tomorrow. Now again, keep in mind we have that news at 11 o'clock, and oftentimes the lead up into the inventory report, which again, I'm going to keep saying is Wednesday. It's Thursday tomorrow because of the holiday. But, bear with me here as I try to shrug off the Memorial Day weekend hangover. But the reality is that as we go into inventories, typically on Wednesdays, tomorrow it's Thursday, we oftentimes do see this sharp trend reversal. And, we have an ongoing joke in our trade room that it's the market makers out there, it's the trading gods out there setting themselves up for a nice big, in this case, it'd be a rally and then a short right into the end of the week. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. But right now we can definitely tell that this market is bullish. A short covering rally turns into a bull flag, and then of course retest that high. So really right now what we do know about this chart is the buyers are hunting for this opposite side of the market, right? The buyer's objective right now is to get to that 49.72. Now that's a pretty beefy target to sort of take off in one clip. So we're going to have to get some rotation here. The buyers have to, of course, first, we know we have a measured move. That measured move lines up with the top of this channel. So that's going to make for an excellent area of resistance. We expect to see some profit taking there for the bulls. I think the most important thing right now, the most important clue in this chart is this rising support trend line. Really right now, we always ask ourselves those three questions: who has control, where's their objective, and where are we right now? Well, the bulls have control after holding this pullback on strength. We can definitely credit the API report for giving that much needed boost off these lows here. But the bottom line is the bulls have control. Their objective in the short term is this measured move, right? And where are we? We're only a few inches away from that measured move. So I don't want to be a buyer right now. I'd rather be a buyer back at support. So the goal for tomorrow is to look for some sort of two-legged pullback back to an area of support so we can buy low tomorrow. Now, with that said, I also want to make sure to kind of identify the fact that we're going into news tomorrow, which means in all reality, this measured move, it might be what measured move, right? It may continue, right, to go higher here. It may just ignore that measured move. Again, we're coming off of news tonight and we're going into news tomorrow. The market undoubtedly will have a mind of its own, right, during environments like this. So with that said, if we do not get a nice pullback back to that low, if price continues here to push higher, look for a spike in channel, look for a spike in range, look for those spike environments that we always talk about, right? That spike and channel, buy the low of that channel, right? Buy the dip back up, right? Possibly a spike and wedge, right? Watch for those spike and wedges. They love to pop up out of nowhere, right? Spike and wedge, buy the dip, right? Possibly maybe a spike and range, right? Spike in range, that's a scenario to look for too, right? Possible flag, which we saw earlier on the chart already. So spike and channel, look to buy that low, right? Look spike and wedge, look to buy that trap. Spike and range, look to buy the low of that range, right? Dig in, buy the low of that range. So pretty simple. If we go higher here, you want to make sure you kind of keep an eye out for what may end up being a spike and range, right? What may end up being a spike and wedge, what may end up being, right, that spike and channel, right? So just watch out for those scenarios as the price goes higher. And you know what I always say, right? If we're bullish and we're punching through these areas of resistance, I want to be a buyer. I just don't want to buy high. So look for those two-legged pullbacks, look for those trap lows, look for those deep corrections off the high, right? And focus your energy on buying low. The ultimate objective right now for those bulls is to get back to 49.72. But again, we're going to see some possibly, right? Again, we don't really know yet, but we definitely just see this thing pull back, a little two-legged pullback there, right? Back to key areas of support, right? Or up and then trap low, right? Up, deep pullback, right, for a spike in channel, so on and so forth, right? We'll go over more of that tomorrow once we know more details in the trade room. Don't forget, we'll be in the trade room tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. So definitely bullish. We want to buy low right now. Don't buy high on crude. And speaking of inventories for tomorrow, here's the S&P. You know, the S&P loves to move around. I do want to remind you here this evening that if you want to learn more about these trading strategies that we talk about here at School of Trade, we get a great free trial on the homepage of the website. Go to schooloftrade.com. Register for our free trial. Learn more about what it means to be a client. Learn more about what it means, right, to be a trader with us here at School of Trade. Also, while you're here, don't forget, check out the beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of membership. We have a place for everybody to begin and finish their career here with us at School of Trade. And I'm always here to help out 24/7. Use that live support tool on the right-hand side of the website, right, and holler at us if you have any questions. Guys, I hope you had a great weekend. We're back in the action, though. We got tomorrow, Thursday, and, of course, Friday being non-farm Friday. Let's get to work. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the trade room. If not, same time, same place tomorrow night on the newsletter, and I'll get the video out a little bit earlier tomorrow night as I'm back in my routine again here in the office in Los Angeles. Thanks for being here, guys. My name is Joseph. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? Adios, amigos. Bye.